Hey, welcome back to Pwn TV, and I'm gonna make a video about how to manage Gil in Final Fantasy XI 2018. This has kind of been a redo of every video I've made for every year, but I just kind of want to show you how the trend is changing, and I also want to practice on making better and better videos. So some of my previous videos get thousands of views, but not necessarily thousands of likes. So I know that I can do better, and so this video is just me trying to improve. So if you're coming back to Final Fantasy XI, this is a video for you. If you play Final Fantasy XI regularly, then this is also a video for you. I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about a lot of different ways to play this game in 2018, but I'm going to focus on power leveling, both receiving and giving power leveling, and how that affects the economy a little bit, and how you can use that to actually progress your character sheet in the game by making millions of gil. So really quick, I'm going to show you that I have 11 million gil on me. I did not film before I started this, but before I started this I had less than 1 million gil. I'm not going to lie to you in this video, so you're going to have to believe me when I say that I made over 10 million gil already. Also believe me that before this video, I also spent some of the gil that I made power leveling people to finish my atrophy gloves +3. In particular, I had to buy a floppy leather for it, which is $1.5 million almost. And I also had to buy an item from one of the shop vendors, the NPC vendors, which is also $1 million+ or something like that. So, long story short, I started power leveling people because I was broke. And I didn't know how I was going to get unbroke, and how I was going to finish my atrophy gloves, and how I was going to start finishing my my next mythic weapon, which I'm working on. You can see that I am no stranger to money making in general. I'll show you a couple of things. My first mythic was Burt Gang. That was done last year, right? Sorry, this is my second mythic. My first mythic was done the year before that, so I get about 1 mythic per year in this game, on average, it seems like. And then, various other stuff, like Attack Toast done, Dunna, things like that, Yaller Horn. I mean, you get the idea. There's a lot of stuff that's been done on this character, and it's cost millions of gil to do it. I don't know how much I've spent in general, but I have almost everything in the game, and I'm assuming that's over 1 billion gil worth of stuff. So, there you go. So I've spent 1 billion gil, which is capped gil. So, seeing that 11 mil there doesn't mean anything to me, but it might mean everything to you. And so you want to get to that point where it doesn't mean anything to you, then you need to be no stranger to money making in the game. And so in this version of how to make money, I'm going to just talk about the PL mostly, and we'll try to keep it short, and just be advised that you can look at my other videos that focus more on how to actually spend your sparks, how to actually gain and sell sparks to make money, and things like that. But this is bigger amounts of money all at once that you're receiving, so there's a little bit of rules, unwritten rules to it. Don't be a dick is the first rule. If you power level someone and they pay you, don't be a dick. Don't steal from them. Don't steal from other players around you wherever you set up camp. That's not very nice either. Basically, just don't be a dick. If you get into a situation like this one, where Robert wants to party me and I'm already out here, I'm gonna take a look and see. This is a perfect example. He's alone. Invited. Well, I don't have the ability to invite him at the moment. Let me see if Darkness will leave. He's done, right? Let's see if he's done. Okay. Shred this stuff while we're waiting. Woo! He used my real name. That's fine. I showed in the... actually, I didn't show in this clip, but I'll show really quick. I'm actually refilming this because I kind of got carried away in the last video. So let me just show you guys a couple of things that I showed in the last video that I'm not going to use. Basically, these are a few websites. If you're coming back to the game, you're going to need to know about some of these, so pay attention really quick. So this is Final Fantasy XI AH auction house, and the website is FFXIAH.com. You're going to want to definitely use this tool. Check it out. I don't want to talk about it in this video, but just know that it exists and check it out. It's very important. You're also going to want to know about BGWiki. There's a hyphen between the G and the W here, so it's bgwiki.com with a hyphen, and you're going to want to check this out. Ditto. I don't have time to tell you about the website, but you need to check it out. And there's a Facebook page for Azura, right? So it's FFXI Azura server. There's a couple of other ones, like Final Fantasy 11, I think, is another Facebook page. But this is one of the main ones that Azura uses. And so as you can see, people are actually saying shout out to Pwnsalot on the Facebook page. I didn't tell him to write this, he just did it and told me he did. So I liked it, and my name shows up there, of course. So yeah, so there you go. That's me, and I'm on the Facebook page. And for now, that's going to be it for websites that I'm going to show you. If you're coming back to the game, that's for you. If you're not, then I don't want to waste your time. You already know about that stuff. So let's keep going, okay? So he dropped, and I told you don't be a dick was the #1 rule. So if I have a spot, I'm going to fill the spot. Whether the guy pays me or not is not the point. I'm here to actually have fun. It's much easier to have fun when I've already made 10+ million gil doing this, and that was just this evening. So about 3+ hours of work, 3 or 4 hours of work, something like that. I've been playing for around 6 hours, but most of it was in town. So about half that was actually power leveling and doing stuff like this. And so I'm just showing you guys the whole process here. If you're receiving the power level, you're gonna sit in a corner somewhere after you've maybe paid your power leveler. The average rates are going to vary. I would say 1 million for every 50 levels, right? So keep that in mind. Some people do 3 million for a whole 100 levels, and some people will pay more than that, but most people won't. So that's what you would expect. Just if you're the guy setting the party together, then you're going to expect that. Also, they're all going to be at various character progression, so a lot of them are going to come and go, so you really have to keep up with it. So I would advise using a notepad with names, jobs played, and levels needed, just as the person hosting this, and then that way you can stay organized. And basically your whole goal is to run around and kill stuff, and then they pay you to do that. And if you're getting power leveled, you're going to be one of the guys back there that gave me money and basically stands there and gets free stuff. Well, it's not free because they paid for it. Most of them. Some might have gotten in for free, but that's not the point, like I said. Don't be a dick is the #1 rule. So if you're ever second-guessing yourself out here, oh, he needs to pay me, he needs to whatever, don't be a dick is the #1 rule. Remember that one rule, and then ask the question, then make the suggestion that somebody might need to actually do something for you. A lot of times I'll also ask people when they leave to do a shout, and then I'll get people to send me tells and come out here. But you gotta be really careful because they usually won't pay you at all if they're coming from somebody else's shout, and you haven't had time to be in town to sort out the details of how you get paid. So if you wanted to make money, you might want to be a little bit more aggressive with people joining your party. But just refer to the #1 rule, which is don't be a dick. Whatever you do, and that'll help you out. So I've made enough money tonight, and so I'm going to be a lot more liberal, I guess, out here. So we've gone over my role in the party, my allies' roles in the party, and how the party actually makes somebody money, and how the party actually is a good way to spend your money as a player actually getting power leveled. I'm worried that I might die here. My chat is glitched, so I'm having a lot of trouble actually. Yeah, do you see that? I can't actually target myself and cure 3. So that's a problem. Technical difficulty here. I might die. Okay. I don't understand. That's weird. I'm just gonna zone then. Not a problem. We'll just zone really quick. Damn, I can't even... You guys are seeing this, right? This is dumb. Maybe I can fix it. Maybe. Wait, did that work? Yeah, there we go. It's fixed. Good shit. So I don't have to actually zone or anything. Okay, so now I can actually heal myself. I'm back on track. So yeah, I'm capable of having these really clutch plays only because I'm overgeared for the zone. So that's why I'm recording this, because I am overgeared for the zone and I'm not worried about dying in most cases. But that's not to say, obviously, as you just saw, it is possible that I could die out here. But this video is not about how strong you might be, it's about how you might be able to make money. That's what it's about. So your strength doesn't really matter. Just know that the stronger you are, the easier it is to come out here and get people to level 99. The weaker you are, the harder it is to come out here and get people to level 99. Right? So if you're going to use that to make money, it's going to be a little bit harder for you if you're not really well geared. And you're probably going to want to do this regularly or at least once a week to make your money if this is for you. And this is going to help you build your character up, so the very first millions of gil that you get should probably be invested in your first character until you get to a point like this where I'm at, and then you can start using this whole strategy to invest in your other characters, like for example me doing my red mage gloves that I showed you. Red mage gloves. Finished. Millions of gil were spent in this item just today from this power level group that I've been doing. And I think this is our third power level run back to back, so I've done 2 other ones before this one. So all these guys are new. But you know, we can just keep it going as long as I have the focus to come out here and play the game. And that's more and more money, so you could see the potential to earn infinite gil just doing this. Once you get to a certain point, it's easy. You just run through and you just do it. It's not hard. And if you're not at that point, well, let me talk briefly for the rest of the video about how you might actually get to that point. Let's say that you are a member in my party right now, and you really would like to figure out how not only you can spend your gil that you might get from Ambuscade or whatever, which another reason I'm doing this at the beginning of the month is because Ambuscade wait timers on Azra at the start of the month are really bad until people get it out of their system for that month, and then they stop doing it, so the wait timers will come down. And that's when I like to do Ambuscade, so like the middle and the end of the month I'll do Ambuscade. At the beginning of the month I'm usually staying away, but that's a tangent. I'm not really going to talk. You should understand that that's just an option for you to spend your time. You could do Ambuscade to make money, or you can PL people to make money, or you could do mercenary work in general, like kill bosses for people to make money. Those are all really good ways to make gil. Those are all really good ways to spend gil in this game. And so let's move on really quick. How do you get to the point where you're on the other side of the table, though? How do you get to the point where you're receiving another player's last 500,000 gil because he's that broke and he can't even pay you $1 million for a power level? I mean, how do you get to that point? Well, you have to actually build your guy. And like I said, getting all this money from these players, put it to good use as fast as possible, or you really are shooting yourself in the foot with this strategy, right? So build in your guy. So know that I'm going to show you the items that I have and where I got them. I'll talk briefly about each one, and I'll try to keep it quick. I'm playing Beastmaster. Another good option would be Blue Mage out here, or Black Mage, something along those lines. Somebody that has a lot of AoE damage to kill the whole room at once, because your whole purpose here is to kill as many monsters as fast as possible. That's what you're trying to do, right? And you're trying to stay alive. So I'm going to show you how to kill all the monsters as fast as possible, on Beastmaster anyway, and how to stay alive, because those are the 2 things that you really need to know when you come out here on any job, and I'll show you how to do them on Beastmaster. So this is my idle set. This is what I run around in when I'm playing Beastmaster Dancer. I use an Obero weapon. Obero is in Port Juno in near Kufim Island entrance. Talk to him, get that figured out. You need a scintillating Rhapsody to finish this item, so just know that. That's from Rhapsodies of Vana'diel. Charmer's Merlin, this is an Abyssy drop, one of the 9 Abyssy zones. I don't remember which one. I want to say Miseru, but I have a 1 in 9 shot of that being actually correct. So anyway, Charmer's Merlin, get it if you're playing Beastmaster anyway, because it's really, really good for that effect. And since it's an offhand item, it doesn't affect your item level. The item level is not looked at in this slot. I would be item level 119, but I'm not using a 119 boot. I'm using a level 99 boot, so that's why I'm a 117. And even at 117, I'm overgeared for this zone. This is the easiest of the Escher zones, and being not 119 is not a problem, especially when you don't rely on trusts. If you're not relying on trusts, then your item level doesn't really matter, as long as you can stay alive. And I'll switch into item level 119 when I deal my damage. But when I'm trying to run around, I need that movement speed. I put on my idle set for that movement speed, and it's actually got these boots, not 119 boots, but the only movement speed boots for Beastmaster right here. So there you go. So you're gonna want to get this, and this is from this is an item that you get from, I want to say, salvage. I think it's called salvage. It's really time consuming to do this one though. Yeah, the same place you get your Alexandrite is where you get Scatty's Jambo and Scatty's Jambo +1. So it's a lot to research, so just use one of the articles I showed you already, VG Wiki possibly, and get that figured if you want those items. A couple of other things that I have on this guy, regen items. I have Bathy Choker for regen. That's a Unity drop. I don't remember what zone, but it's a Unity in him, so look that up. Ambuscade stuff, all Meganata +2. You're going to want the full set if you don't have the movement speed boots. If you do have the movement speed boots, then you could go with the movement speed boots, but you're going to want the full set probably anyway, so just get it. And then Asclepian belt, I don't remember how I got this, but it's an accessory, it doesn't really matter. It's just a really good accessory for Beastmaster, so I'm just showing it. Capacity, because you're not mastered usually when you come out here. It's a very low level zone and you don't get a lot of CP, so you could be out here for a long time. We're talking millions of kills before you actually get mastered on your job. So this Mechas Defend Pens Mantle is usually going to be on. If not, then you can use RDOs or something like that. That's a good one to use if you're mastered. So you could do something like that. That's an Ambuscade drop right there. Ambuscade crafted material that you need to go to Mora to get that done. Defending Ring from Behemoth's Dominion, from King Behemoth. Moonbeam Ring from Auction House. That was a few million gil, which you can get coming out here and doing this. So you can see how just coming out here and playing, you can get better stuff for your character, like Staunch Tathlum, for example, Moonbow, Moonbeam, and various other stuff. That's just going to help you. Another Unity NM drop. And this is an Elverseal Dragon drop from one of the Elverseal zones. I don't remember which one. There are 3. They're all Esha and Rizanjima. So those are the items that I have for my tank set. And I really get asked a lot how I tank on Beastmaster, so that's for you. If you're power leveling, pick one of those jobs I mentioned, mostly Blue Mage or Beastmaster. If you chose this route, you're going to want that set of gear that I showed you. Some combination of this, give or take, you know, some certain accessories. Maybe you have better choices for accessories, or maybe you're mastered already, so you don't need this mech mantle on. You get the point, right? Maybe you don't actually feel you need Charmer's Merlin for whatever reason, so you go with like Digger Balang instead, or Digger Balag. That's a pretty good one. Maybe you have 2 Mythic Empyrean, or like Mythic Relic, or Aeonic, or some ultimate axe and some other ultimate axe. Maybe you don't like Dancer and you're playing with like a shield, then you could pick a shield. I think I've got a couple of shields that Beastmaster can equip, so I'll just briefly talk about those. Let's look at some shields really quick in case you're not subbing Dancer for some reason. Can't use Blurred. You could use Adipa from Omen. That's a good one for Beastmaster. Really good. I think that's probably the only other one I would use. You could use Swellick. There you go. From Auction House. Done. You can grab that guy. Or you can ask me really nicely for mine if you don't have any on Auction House for whatever reason. So those are some examples of how you'd play if you didn't have a dual wield. So you can see options, different playstyles possibly, but what I'm playing is, in my opinion, well, it's not really my opinion, it's actually a fact. What I'm playing is actually best. There's really no quicker way to kill stuff in the entire game than coming out here on a Beastmaster, A, because they're better than Blue Mages by about, I don't know, maybe 10% stronger, something like that, in most cases. If you really size the dicks up, the Beastmaster is stronger than the Blue Mage. I could challenge anyone on those grounds and tell them, I'll even show them everything. I'm not scared, but I'm not going to brag about it, I'm just telling you the facts. And then, you're really well geared with a tank set, that's important. You have a lot of Vor Seals out here, that's also important, so get your Vor Seals. Do all the content that allows you to get Vor Seals in Esha zones, and apply those so you can get really, really gross regen ticks. Like mine right now is plus 12, I think. So I go from 800 to 812, 758 to 770 on one regen tick. Meanwhile, I'm running with enhanced movement speed while I'm regenning, and I'm really not even worried about my HP. and I'm out here providing a service that's going to get me a lot of money. Once these guys hit level 99, I can go back to town, ask for more people to show up, and I can just come out here and gradually master my Beastmaster while providing a service to get people XP, and that gives me money, which helps me get better gear for Beastmaster and other jobs once Beastmaster's done, which at this point mine is, other than the ultimate weapon. But that's not the point of the video. You can see how you could progress. That's the point of the video. So there's the tank set. The only other tank set, the only other Beastmaster set that you're gonna really want to hit as hard as possible is the DPS set. And I actually can't kite these things with it on because that's how strong it is, and that's how strong my tank set is. So I might actually die because I don't have any TP here. Yeah, there we go. I'm alive! Alright, so let's kill all that stuff. But you can see how it all dies pretty much in one hit. Sometimes not, but you know, I can tweak that. There's ways to tweak that that I'm really not going to discuss in the video. I'll just mention a couple of them though. You could get a cheer effect to change the modifications on your Beastmaster out here. So look up Mog Garden off of like BG Wiki, for example. You can do familiar if it's up and you want to get 30 minutes extra powered dude, then you could do that. You could use the high quality version of the broth like I did to get Bouncing Bertha instead of Scissor Legs Zarin. That's another thing you can do to get really strong out here. And you can use Unleash when it's up to like really power spike your CP per minute. You could do that. And XP per minute also, you know, because they're kind of the same thing. And so that's just different ways to actually deal more damage to where you ensure that everything dies in one hit. But sometimes they might not die in one hit, so just be prepared for that. They usually will die in one hit when you're this geared. You're going to want to use a food effect. I would say Akamochi +1, or Shiromochi +1, or Kuramochi +1, I think is what it's called. Kusamochi +1. Which is what I like to use since I'm overgeared for the zone. This just gives me more attack and no accuracy since my accuracy is already capped, and I know my pet's accuracy is already capped out here because I'm overgeared. Like I said, I don't need any accuracy on food, so I use attack food. This is actually the cheapest food to get, so when you get closer to Master Beastmaster, you can actually spend less money getting food for stuff like this. So that's a plus. That's something to look forward to. Just because the market is geared more towards accuracy food and not attack food. But out here, at this level, you're going to want to use attack food. And so that way you can actually do those really cool one-shots. Just an example of some kind of damage you can look forward to. I'll just use familiar and just go all out really quick to show you what I can do out here. With Kusamochi +1, the correct gear, the correct weapon, armor set, and the correct buffs, I can come out here and basically cleave everything around me for about 30,000 damage each. 20 to 40,000 is usually what I see on this. So I can just come over here really quick and kill this stuff as well. Boom, done. 20,000+ damage. That's double their HP, so they're all going to get one shot by leaps and bounds. So you can see like the broad spectrum of the Beastmaster in general. You're looking at anywhere from like upper 7,000 damage per swing all the way to 40,000 damage per swing, right? There's a 28k right there. Come over here and do it again. Not any real big numbers there, unfortunately. I get one more Unleash. And you only get stronger as you get closer to Master. I got 2 more Unleashes, look at that. And that was a really weak one. I think the Unleash actually wore off there right before the damage was dealt. Yeah, because I lost 10,000 damage on it. But yeah, anyway, so that's what you can do. That's the scope of the Beastmaster Bouncing Bertha damage. You could understand that's probably the most damage you'll see, but that's more than double what you need, so you could use Scissor Legs Zarin. You don't have to necessarily use any of your SPs or food effects, and you can still perform out here relatively quickly and relatively well. But if you need that boost, you can do any combination of the stuff that I just showed you to get that boost. And by farming out here and power leveling people, you can get more stuff like Bouncing Bertha. That's a couple 100k right there that you can just get access to from power leveling people and actually playing the game out here. And in addition to that, like I said with in my previous videos, how you farm Gil, You get sparks when you do stuff like this, especially during the Gain XP limited time challenge, which is not up right now, but you do get a lot of sparks in general when you're out here if you have the right Records of Eminence set. So I'll show you my list of Records of Eminence so you can see what I'm using to actually farm sparks. And the sparks will allow you to get gil as well, because you'll redeem them in town for Acheron shields from one of the NPCs, and then you'll sell the Acheron shields for around 28,000 gil, give or take, depending on your fame and where you sell it. And that's each shield gives you the 28k, so it adds up really quick. You can get 1,000,000 gil with cap sparks, right? Just about 1,000,000 gil. It's just the stuff that I'm using for Records of Eminence. You can see that I'm capped. I can't add any more quests. I have the limited time challenge #1 and then 30 out of 30 for the rest, so that's why it says 31 there. And it's giving me pretty good sparks, so that allows me to get more Acheron shields when I get back. I can spend the Unity accolades for stuff like refractive crystals, Unity NM trophies, like you know, the skin or the feathers or whatever that the mobs drop, that you need what, like 50 of to upgrade the Unity NM stuff to +1 each. So I could buy that stuff and I could sell that on auction house as well, but you have to already have beaten the boss to actually buy that stuff from the Unity NM NPC, so just be advised. Or you could spend it on SP Gobby keys, guys, because you get any random item in the game when you use these. So I usually just buy these. I usually just keep buying SP Gobby keys, and I think I got more in my case. Probably less than a stack though. And you know, you just pop them in town with one of the goblins, and then you can actually get any item in the game. It could be one Batetsu, it could be one more SP Gobby key, it could be anything. You could get an item that sells on auction house for like 3,000,000 gil potentially. So it could be anything. So why not? You know, just play the lotto. Since this is about actually farming gil, I'll actually show you guys what I'm talking about with the Gobby keys. I'll just demonstrate really quick, because you're obviously going to cap accolades, so you're going to want to know where the Sparks vendor is, what the accolades vendor is. So we'll actually append that to this video really quick. BRB. Yeah, it looks like everybody's level 99. Congrats. I'm not really, that's a guy that I already leveled to 99 and he switched jobs. So technically he didn't pay me to level that job to level 99, so I'm not obligated to stay out here, so we'll actually go to town. Right on. So this is just another way to make money, guys, besides your typical way to make money, which is doing ambuscade. Getting these Abdalza seals, using them right before you win a very difficult, intense ambuscade, then hey, you get like a lot of points, and then you can just buy tons of loot with that and sell it on auction house or build a mythic with it. Do whatever you want. You're probably making around 10,000,000 gil per character per month in ambuscade over the course of the whole month. That's probably what you're making, plus or minus 10,000,000 gil. And that adds up, obviously, but it would take a year to hit 100,000,000 gil that way. So it's limited in its capacity because you can only get so many items before you can't get any more items. But in a method like this, where you're actually going out and you're power leveling people, you could just do a shout in town. Do you need it? And then people will send you messages and you can give them detailed information on how you're going to work it out. So you could do that. All these guys are level 99, so I'm done. Like, my work's done here. And I casually did that while making a video. It wasn't hard. I did mean to show you guys the DD set, so I'll do that now. So this is actually the DD set that I'm using on my guy. There's a lot to talk about, so I got distracted. So there's the ammo, domesticators, Hija, and you're going to have to use one of the resources to look most of this up, because I don't really, off the top of my head, know where all this stuff is. Just know that there's a lot of options for you, so you can go with a lot of different stuff, right? Quite a bit of stuff that you have access to on Beast. Pretty strong. So you can do a lot of damage there. pro tip, if you are unleashing, you could get rid of the Charmer's Merlin for like that axe, that Digger Balak that I had on, and you're going to do more damage, because the Charmer's Merlin only stops the ability timer by -5, and you don't have an ability timer during Unleashed, so you don't need the axe on, obviously. So you could remember to do that when you use Unleash. That would be a really cool thing to do. So for 45 seconds you actually have an extra really OP item, but in general you're going to have Charmer's Merlin in that slot, or Shield. I've shown that already, so we're not going to go back. So I didn't actually get any tells here, but that's not exactly why I came to town, but I'm going to take advantage of the fact that I'm in town to get more business. And just demonstrate how you might actually get more business. It's getting pretty late, so I might not get any responses, and that's fine. I'm actually probably... I would rather do something other than PL anyway at this point, because I've done it for so many hours now. I think I'm going on like 5 or 6 hours of PLing people, and made about 15 mil in that time, plus a bunch of other stuff. Like my inventory's full of loot that people gave me. For example, some of it's already on Auction House, but I've been getting a lot of Batetsus, Alex, Plutons, Boulders, Eshelixir +2s, basically just receiving any form of payment that people can come up with that actually puts me closer to my mythic, which is what I'm spending all this gil on, which I need hundreds of millions of more gil to complete, but I'm getting there because I'm doing this. So that's just one way you can play the game and do that. And let's show you how you can spin those sparks really quick. You could refer to my other videos, but I'll just add it here. It's actually not in Whitegate. It's let's go to Adeline Isles. You can go to a lot of places. Most people do the starting cities, but I've always done Adeline Isles. I'm just comfortable there. Adeline, whatever, Western Adeline, Mog House. I think that's where I went to. Pretty sure. Okie doke. So right over here by the Mog House entrance, there's a couple of vendors, and they hang out. The one on the far right is a little Mithra girl in this zone, but in the other zones it's not going to be a Mithra girl, it'll be somebody else. And she actually deals with accolades. So since I have capped accolades, typically when I do stuff like this, I'll come out here and I'll spend those, and then I'll go back out and get some more. You don't want to necessarily spend them all if you see yourself doing something in the future, in the near future, that involves accolades, like any UNM battle, for example. You don't really want to go to 0, but just remember how easy they are to farm, and really you shouldn't care how many you spend. Just don't stay at capped accolades, because you're just wasting your time. So these are other items that you could just get really quick with your accolades, and you can sell them all on Auction House. So I wanted to show that. Let me get out of this option here. I could get some items this way as well. If I want to buy in larger chunks, I can do refractive crystals, put those on Auction House. Really just depends on what's available. Use the FFXIAH.com website to look and see what's actually available on Auction House on your server at any given time, and then basically spend your accolades on stuff that doesn't exist on the Auction House. That's just a supply and demand tip right there. But when you don't really have any inventory space, and you don't have any Auction House inventory space or delivery box inventory space, you get the point. Like when you have no inventory space, it's best to just do the keys, since they stack at 99, and you can basically get I don't think I have capped accolades, so I can't get that many. You can basically get a stack of 99 keys, and then whenever you want in the future, you could come and spend those keys over here on this guy to get a random item. So you would just trade the key. Pro tip, you can actually, instead of trading the key, you can type item, the name of the item, and then the target. You could make a macro that does that. You could target BNPC in that macro on the first line as well. So after you click it, when you get out of the dialogue, you're targeting again. So just one way to click the button. For whatever reason, it's not working. Oh, it's target NPC, not battle NPC. Battle NPC would be for if you're outside and you're trying to target a mob that your party is fighting. So the target NPC is the one I'm looking for. So that would work, and then you can do the key in your other line, which, there it is. And there you go. So your macro could do that, and you could just spam the keys, all 100 of them with that macro. I think I actually have that macro already written somewhere. So you can get any random item in the game, as you can see. And since they're stackable up to 99, it's 1 inventory space for any random item in the game, 100 shots at any random items in the game. So it's pretty clever to do that. With your sparks though, you're going to come over to the guy on the left. He's always going to be on the left of the other two in the line, no matter what zone you're in. You're going to come down to any of these really that are not level 99, because the level 99 is exclusive. But all this other stuff is rare. You're going to want to buy rare items with your sparks and sell those on auction house. So any of this stuff you can buy. I would recommend getting the one that's worth the most sparks. So if you know what I'm talking about, which you probably do if you're watching this, but you might not. So I'm showing it. The one that you're going to want to buy, which is worth the most sparks, would be the least inventory space needed to hold them in large quantities, would be the Acheron shields. They all have the same exchange rate. So by spending more sparks per item, you can save inventory space. That's really the whole reason people do Acheron shields, more than anything else, because it makes the most sense. You can go through the whole stack of sparks that you have. Definitely don't stay capped sparks. If you're playing this game and your sparks are capped, you need to stop what you're doing as soon as possible and go spend your sparks, because the only way to drive your character forward is gil in this game. Time and money is what you need. So by staying capped sparks and not spending them, you're losing a lot of money. So much money. More money than you ever thought you would make in this game. If you don't spend your sparks as you get them, you're gonna lose that money. You could spend your sparks on a lot of stuff, but if you really just want money in gil form, then you would actually spend them on Acheron shields. But there's a lot of different things you can do. Like you can trade the copper vouchers to this guy, and then later on you can exchange them. So I have 49 copper vouchers in storage on this guy, so I could just go in and buy sparks if I want more sparks to buy more shields, and then I can sell more shields. So you could spend your copper Aman vouchers that way. If you're really gimp, you could like maybe do this. This is probably a ripoff, but you could buy this kind of stuff. I would recommend getting it from Ambuscade though, if you need it for anything. You could do that. So that's one of the options that he has. You can buy trusts, which you should. This is one of the best trusts in the game to have. You need to get it. So buy that guy. Gilgamesh is pretty good, I guess, so just grab him too while you're here. If you want to get 119, you got to start somewhere, so you're going to start at 117 by getting all this stuff. If you're really new and you're just coming back, you could spend your sparks this way, and it's a good investment, but every player is going to throw all of this away by the time they hit 119 on their job, by the time they master their job, by the time they get like ultimate weapons done on their job. Everything that they bought with sparks that's rare EX, they're going to throw it away. There's not really anything that you're going to want to keep. But it depends on your job and what you got. Maybe there is some stuff that you really like, but eventually it'll all phase out. So my point is just don't overspend on the level 99 stuff. Just know that it's there as like a quick way to dump sparks and get stuff out of it that will help your character progression. But if you really want to help your character progression, get the 119 and do that in Ambuscade. And then once you do that, you spend all your sparks on those Acheron shields that I showed you here in this menu. And then you just go sell those. That's what you should do. If you get power leveled, you're going to need to know about the skill increasing tombs. This is going to allow you to actually level up your skill all the way to capped skill level, which is really important. All of your magic skills and weapon skill, I think, yeah, weapon skill, throwing skills, marksmanship skills, every skill in the game, combat skills and magic skills, you can get there. And you can use sparks for that. And you can also sell those on auction house. So again, check the FFXI.ah.com website and look to see if there's any skill increasing tombs that are not on auction house. You could spend your sparks there and make money on your auction house if you've got some space available on the auction house to list some stuff. Just keep that in mind. And you got the ability to buy Rim's Tails as well, but you really shouldn't. You should actually, you might be tempted to, and I would say go ahead if it helps you, like if you're in a rush, but you should just have a friend help you with BC&M type content and KS&M type content from the Juno area, and then that way you can get all of that stuff without spending sparks, and that will save you a lot of money. So just know that you have that option as well. Me personally, the only thing I actually, in the late game, I'll be honest, I've actually, everything I showed you in this video that cost sparks, I have bought at one point in my career, but I'm at the stage now where nothing helps me other than Acron shields, so I literally only save sparks for Acron shields. Very rarely will I use any sparks on anything else, and I will actually not. I also like to save my copper MN vouchers. I don't spend them as soon as I get them. I'll save them up because that's a rainy day million gil sometimes. And in addition to that, I think I maybe could have got more on auction house, but whatever. I got rid of that guy. In addition to, I got distracted. We were talking about sparks. Selling sparks. I forget what I was going to say, but it was something about making money. So there you go. Robert Smith distracted me. Damn, I really wish I knew what I was going to say. It's getting pretty late for me. We talked about selling stuff, making gil, auction house. Yeah, that pretty much covers it. I might be leaving something out, but you know, 2019 is right around the corner, guys. Another 10 months. We'll be in 2019, and I'll be back on Final Fantasy XI making yet another video, probably an hour-long video, about how to make money. I might get some comments like, all this could have been done in 5 minutes, but there's a lot that needs to be talked about, depending on the player that is targeted in this video, and this video is targeting everyone that clicks on my channel. So I hope that I didn't bore anyone, and I hope that the new players that are coming back to this game that need to get to 119 took a lot from this video, and just know that there's a lot more that could be said, but I'll save that for other videos in the future, and we'll go ahead and wrap it up here. I think I gave you enough information for one day. So thank you for watching, everyone. I'm gonna go to bed, definitely past my bedtime. Here's your 2018 version of how to farm gil in Final Fantasy XI, and I appreciate all of you, your time for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, and leave comments. I would look forward to reading them. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Goodbye.